Hey, dear students, mentors, and guests. I am Grace Maduli from the Philippines, and my speech will revolve around the idea of freedom of speech. Before anything else, if I ask you about a basic human right that has been overlooked for years, what do you think would it be? Probably what you're going to answer would be along the lines of the right to life and liberty, the right to work and education, or the right to equality. Well, you are not wrong. But what I'm trying to point out here is the right to freedom of opinion and expression. According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the right to freedom of opinion and expression is a complex right that includes the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds through whatever medium. This means that when an individual's right to freedom of expression is unlawfully restricted, the right of others to receive information and ideas is also violated. Recently, I asked my Philippine politics and governance teacher what she thinks about the prevalent issues regarding the violation of freedom of opinion and expression in our country. And one thing that remained in me was when she said, you know, people are very vocal about advocating for the basic human rights, such as the right to education and work, equality, and such. But it seems that they had forgotten about the importance of having the right to freedom of opinion and expression. Because if you come to think of it, without information, other rights will not be able to thrive. And after that encounter with my teacher, I did my research about the importance of information, and I was able to come up with the conclusion that having the skill to communicate effectively is definitely an essential tool and a primary right of every human being in this world. In our context here in Sendai Youth Leadership Program, we are taught how to utilize our skills as public speakers and how to effectively communicate with our audience. But without the right to freedom of opinion and expression, we cannot make use of whatever skills we already acquired from every session that we had. Meanwhile, alongside our right to freedom of opinion and expression, I hope that we will only spread information that is true and reliable. Because one wrong idea can ruin the lives of those who will acquire the information that we are sharing. Many places in the world are experiencing division within its communities due to the rampant misinformation, which has the intention to spread false information, and disinformation, which has the intention to spread false information, as well as to harm and deceive people that are circulating among the nations. Therefore, this human right should not only focus on how we impart information to others, but also it should focus on how we should have the skills in acquiring true and reliable information from other sources. That's why I hope all of us will not let our right to freedom of speech be taken away from us, because information is essential and having access to it is an asset. Thank you for listening, and I hope you were able to pick up something.
Yes. So to start off my evaluation, uh, first thing that I notice about Grace is whenever she gives speech, delivers her speech, it's always an eye opener, just like what was said in the introduction. It's always an eye opener. It's always very relevant to current societal issues that are not just present in our country, uh, but but also present in other countries, and is also a reality for some countries. And I believe that we need more speakers like you, a speaker that has the guts and courage to voice out these concerns that are usually ignored and neglected by those who are high in the position. And it's very admirable to talk about something like this because you're not just delivering a speech for yourself, but you're fighting for lives of millions of people. And yeah, that's one thing that I like most about your speech. And maybe to enjoy more your speech, that so that everyone can follow, maybe you can use words uh, that would be easier to understand for some audience, because as we all know, not everyone is already as fluent, and Some are still learning, some are still trying to be familiar with some of the words. So it will be better if you can use words that is easy to understand. So yeah, overall it was super good. And to be honest, I actually don't have a lot to say about the improvements. Yeah, good job. Thank you.
Schiffer. Wow, Grace, I can see you as a politician in the future. That is what I see you. Yeah, really. And this speech is very, very, very good for me. I really love when you talk about we practice public speaking skill in YLP Sendai. But if you don't have the right to speak, for what? It's a waste of time that you spend your time for 8 sessions, right? That touched my heart. In many countries, we have that kind of problem. We can relate us to the current situation in the world. That I most love that. I even love your speech more. If you can begin or opening, I mean the opening of your speech, like the one that you mentioned. Imagine if you have perfect skill in public speaking, but you have no right to speak. For what? That is the opening, you see, and then you can elaborate in the body. But your crossing is very good already. So Grace, congratulations. I really like your speech and I enjoy listening to you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Shafir.